Hey Cancer, welcome to your general tarot reading for March. This reading is for those with Cancer Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Messages are general and come through for those who need to hear them. So if this doesn't resonate, feel free to check out your other placements. Before we jump in, I just want to note that energy is fluid and doesn't always come out super clear cut. You may resonate with only one part, different parts, or the whole reading that comes out today. Just trust what feels right for you. You know your situation best. With that said, let's get into your reading. What can Cancer expect in March? What can Cancer expect in March? And one more. What can Cancer expect in March? Okay. What can Cancer expect in March? What can Cancer expect in March? Death in reverse. What can Cancer expect in March? Oh, those are too many, but I'll take the Hermit in reverse. The Nine of Swords in reverse and the Two of Swords in reverse. Alright, let's see if there's any more. What can Cancer expect in March? In reverse. So lots of reversed energy here. Actually, it's all reversed energy, which is interesting. But you've got Death in reverse. You've got the Hermit in reverse. You've got the Nine of Swords and the Two of Swords in reverse. And you've got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is definitely interesting energy. I'm just going to clarify quickly why is Death in reverse here? 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 Why is Death... Death in reverse again. Interesting. Oh, okay, so we've got Lust. Got the Empress in reverse, and we've got Death in reverse. Why is it Lust here? Why is Lust here? Why is Lust here? Okay, so this energy is a little bit all over the place. But first we've got Death in reverse, which to me is saying that there is some sort of change that needs to be made in your life. And you know it needs to be made, whatever it may be. You know the change needs to be made, but it's almost like you're resisting the change. It could be out of fear, it could be out of uncertainty, but something is holding you back from really making that change. And I have a feeling that the change has something to do with coming out of isolation. Why is the Hermit here? Why is the Hermit here? Why is the Hermit here? Hermit in reverse. Why is it here? Okay. So let's look at this. So lust. You're definitely wanting to go on a journey of some sort. Um, but I think what's happening is that you're kind of going throughout living life not really being in your element. And I think you might know I think you know why you're not living in your element. Um, but I think what you really want to be doing is like living and speaking your truth to people. Um, you definitely do want that. It's like you want to you want to be able to ground something, to like ground some sort of communication and action into reality. Um, but you're not in your element, so it's kind of hard to make any changes. Um, I think you might have been kind of isolating yourself for a while, with this hermit card here. I think you were isolating yourself for a while, and it's like you now want to come out of that isolation period. You want to stop isolating yourself from others. And I think you were isolating yourself because you didn't feel like you were in your element. Um, for some reason. You didn't feel like you could freely you didn't feel like you could freely be who you are and who you want to be and just be living as yourself. Um, Something was holding you back from living your own life, like living as yourself. And so I think because you didn't feel fully in your element, you just didn't want to see people. You didn't like you actually did, but you just felt like you couldn't see people for a while. You felt like you had to isolate yourself a little bit because it's like you got the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands. So it's saying you do want to be starting something new, and you got the Fool as well, the Knight of Swords, the quickest moving one in the deck. You do really want to be making forward movement, but it's like because you didn't completely feel like you were in your element, you couldn't. And I'll get into it a little bit more. I think everything's kind of starting to come together, and I'm seeing it now. But yeah, so you wanted to go out into the world, but it was like I have all these negative things. So you've got disappointment, the Five of Cups, you've got Seven of Cups, debauch, and you've got the Prince of Cups in reverse. So what this is saying to me is that I think you were worried that if you went out and you started kind of going out in the world, you were worried that you were going to get trapped in these things here. You were going to get trapped in disappointments. You're going to get trapped in overindulging, or having people who don't really care about you. I think these were your fears. Your fears that there was going to be some kind of disappointment, relating to overindulgence. Maybe I feel like you're the type of person. No, so it's okay. So I think you were just quite worried that you were going to be surrounded by this energy, like this energy of, you're going to go out and it wasn't going to feel that nice. Like you were going to have some disappointments there, or you were worried that people were going to be overly indulging when you were with them, and it might like trigger something in you, and because I think potentially you used to overindulge, okay? Or you might still, but it was because of your emotions that was what caused you to do it. You might have been like trying to run from your emotions. But yeah, so you took a hermit mode. You went into a hermit mode, and I think you kind of were just sitting with these energies here, like reflecting on them and just thinking about how you didn't want them to happen again. Like you didn't want to be put into another situation where there was just people overindulging, because I think it might have been quite draining for you to be there, or maybe or like people overindulging in with you as well. I think it was just kind of taking too much of your energy away. And And yeah, and so you went into hermit mode. And when you were in a hermit mode, this is what was happening when you were in there. So you got the Nine of Swords in reverse, and you got the Two of Swords upright, except this, they were actually upright before. So when you went into your hermit mode, and this is, I think this is also the cycle, you know, the change that you're resisting, that you need to really start implementing so that you can be in your element and you can feel safe again. Like safe going out into the world and like socializing, not just feeling like you have to hermit mode. But yeah, so when you were in your hermit mode, you were feeling a whole lot of emotion, a whole lot of anxiety, a whole lot of negative thoughts. It was really, you were feeling it intensely, but you weren't telling anyone about it. You didn't tell anyone, so you suffered. You really were kind of suffering when you were alone, and you didn't reach out to people. It seems like you didn't reach out to people who could kind of try and help put you back in your element, because people were going through all these things over here. Like, they were going through disappointment, they were overindulging, they were not being in their, they're not fully being in their emotions. And so you took the hermit mode and you went, all right, I'm gonna stay back here now where it's just easier, because you didn't really want anyone else to see that you were dealing with all this anxiety. You didn't want people to know that you were struggling and suffering. But now it's almost like, you know, because these are actually reversed, weren't they? So now it's like, after your hermit mode, you know that you have to talk to people about these kinds of things. Like, you can't just keep everything into yourself. And you know that is what is holding you back from being the Empress. You know, this is the change that you need to make. You need to start talking to people more about your anxiety and your suffering, to fully be in your element. And like, it's like, you know that you have to do this and you want to do it. You definitely do want to do it. You want to just like rush in and communicate to people and be like, I'm really struggling right now, like, without caring about anything. And you do want that, and you have the strength to do it as well. You do have the inner strength to do it. But yeah, but now it's good because you realize it now. Like, now you know that by coming out of hermit mode and actually reaching out to people, it's like, yes, people have their stuff that they're going through, but so do I, and I'm still valid, and I still should be able to bring what's going on with me forward without like judgment or anything like that. But yeah, so this Empress, it's like, you need to fully be the Empress, because you've got death in reverse twice, which is double confirmation that like you aren't feeling in your element. But the change that you need to make to feel in your element is to actually reach out and communicate to people. And it's not even about communicating to people, it's just about stop hiding your emotions from the world, because the world wants to see them, and the world wants to welcome them as well. And there is space for you, and it is valid, but it's up to you to kind of make the first step. I think maybe when you've tried in the past, it just has been met with disappointment. Like, you might have felt like people didn't care, or people were overindulging too much, or these are like past coping mechanisms that you've used, with like indulging too much. And so you would kind of go do that instead, rather than reaching out to people and like actually telling them how you feel. But I'm going to clarify this Queen of Pentacles here, because to me that's also like the Empress energy. You know, it's abundance, fertility, growth. And I think when you're in your element, you are the Queen of Pentacles. Why is the Queen of Pentacles here? Why is the Queen of Pentacles here? Why is the Queen of Pentacles here for Cancer? Okay. So yeah, it's really just about balance, honestly. Why Why is the Queen of Pentacles here? It's about finding that balance and within yourself of being able to stay inward and also going outward. And like, I think you need to be able to get out of isolation to fully be in your element. I honestly do feel that. To fully have that balance and stability, and because you need to be able to rely on other people as well. You will find your balance, and you're already starting, because you already know that you have to be kind of going out there more. You know that you have to go out of isolation. But yeah, definitely an interesting read. It's all just about you finding yourself, really, and re-finding that balance where you don't just keep everything to yourself. That sharing with others, that coming out of isolation, that's the change that you've been resisting. Okay, and you know that you need to make this change. You know that you need to reach out to people, and I think you know in your heart that people are going to be there for you. People are going to listen to you, and people do care about you. But it's just things from the past where people haven't been fully receptive because they've been kind of dealing with their own stuff, or they've been too busy to notice it or focus on it. Now is the time to come out of isolation and really ground all of this into reality. And I will grab some advice for you quickly on this situation. I'm going to use Energy Oracle cards. And I'm just going to read from the book because it's easier. Alright. What advice do you have for Cancer in relation to this spread? One more. What advice do you have for Cancer in relation to this spread? What advice do you have for Cancer in relation to this spread? What advice do you have for Cancer? We've got one, we've got two, okay. Hostilities, caring connections, there you go. So I think there was definitely something in the past, like some hostilities that was keeping you from speaking up and being fully balanced. Okay, well, you got 4 cards. Lucky. Alright, so first we've got hostilities. And I think maybe the hostilities could have also caused you to go into hermit mode. But we will see what the advice is. So this card shows a man raising his sword in readiness to do battle. When it comes upright, it reveals a situation where hostilities towards you are about to be or have already been engaged. Oh no. The aggressive energy may be verbal or emotional, with someone in your environment being excessively critical, demanding, or hurtful. In a work or social situation, there may be backstabbing or out-and-out slander going on. This is different from the deceit card because hostile energies are more apparent, more overt. In fact, you may have been living with them for some time, but whether this is new or old energy, now is the time to regain control. Allowing dishonoring treatment from others is an open invitation to the universe to send you more. It may feel risky, but you need to have the courage to stand up for yourself now and always. That's true. Stand up for your energy to get back into your element. Okay? Let's go to the next one, caring connection. So even though there are hostilities going on around you, there are still people who care about you and people who want to help, okay? So not everyone is necessarily bad. There are people who do still love you and still want to help you out. Okay, so this card shows a couple in a tender embrace, with the woman holding the blossoms of new love. Like the community card, this reveals a caring connection, but usually between two people only. This card upright signals the beginning or deepening of a kindred spirit friendship, or even the appearance of new love. It can also signify a formal business partnership. Be on the lookout for new connections presenting themselves. The relationships you already share may become more intimate, purposeful, or present at this time. Notice the opportunities to forge new or deeper bonds. There may be a tender karmic connection at hand. Nice. Then we've got cornucopia in reverse. Okay. The cornucopia reversed is often a card of personal frustration. You may find yourself being discouraged by having your wishes denied, or perhaps you're just disappointed with the delays involved. Don't be surprised or too disheartened if obstacles seem to block your way. It may simply take some patience and persistent action, or it may require a radical shift in how you're approaching your goals. This card reverse may indicate a cycle of restriction or a period of lack or loss. Don't let this deter you. Use this time to go deeper. There may be a lesson to learn or an entirely new direction to take. Be open, flexible, and aware. Remember, there are many roads to happiness. Okay. And last one. Action. Okay. This card tells you that now is the time for more aggressive forward movement. The galloping horses represent intentional and concerted action directed to your goals. This card upright indicates that you are on the right track, but your determined efforts must increase. The white horse is interaction of spirit and thought. The black is the outer work that still needs to be done. So continue taking action and trust your intuition. In time, you'll break through and see the results you've been working so hard to create. Well, there we go. I hope that helped you out, Cancer, and I hope it resonated as well. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought. But other than that, I will see you next time.